Snow and ice is in the forecast. How much should you expect? Plans to replace a local recreational area are in the works. And in sports, what local teams are still at the top of the standings in the Tri-Valley Conference? Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
More winter weather is headed our way. Good evening, I'm Taylor Pacelli. Thanks for joining us. A winter weather advisory has been extended until Friday night at 7 p.m. Periods of snow, sleet, and freezing rain will make traveling difficult, and it is advised to use caution while driving. For more on the weather for the rest of the week, forecaster Adlai Karwish.
I am Adlai Karwish here. Taking a look at today's weather here, we have a high of 11 degrees. Look at the regional map here. It is 14 in Athens, 15 in Madeira, 11 in Cambridge, 11 in Columbus, 17 in Jackson. Let's take a look at the headlines here. Snow incoming, warming up this week, and watch out for flooding as the rivers that might have froze tend to melt, causing flooding throughout the lower area. I'll send it back to you over there.
It's going to be nice to have some warmer weather coming through. Thanks, Adlai. Millions of Americans are suffering through historically frigid and deadly temperatures. At least a dozen people have died as a result of the brutally cold weather. But Steve Nance says there may be some good news in the days ahead.
The upper Midwest and the Northeast are used to cold temperatures during this time of year.
Hat on, scarf, gloves.
But typically not this cold.
Nose hairs, eyes, everything that's moist is just really frozen.
It is like Antarctica right now. It is freezing.
From Minnesota and Michigan all the way to New York and Maine, sub-zero temperatures and wind chills as low as 50 to 60 degrees below zero have brought much of the region to a standstill.
The extreme cold makes it hard to make the road safe because literally as fast as we are melting the ice, it is refreezing.
The U.S. Postal Service was forced to suspend deliveries in several states, and the Red Cross is calling for emergency blood donations. And first responders, including firefighters in Chicago, are met with additional challenges when it comes to doing their jobs.
Equipment freezing up, we've got ladders that are frozen, we've got hose that's frozen.
Not to mention the threat of hypothermia. But for those braving the freezing temps,
it hurts. It definitely hurts.
Relief is on the way. Temperatures in Chicago could jump from negative 25 this week all the way up to the low 50s by Monday. A winter weather whiplash that will be welcomed by all. I'm Steve Nannis reporting.
There have been no reported deaths in Athens and the surrounding areas. As Adlai said, weather will be improving around here rapidly. The cause of the fatal New Lexington mobile home fire is undetermined for now. Authorities say it could change, however. 3-year-old Shade Thompson and his 7-year-old sister Monica Thompson died in the fire. The state fire marshal's office said the investigation will continue. Officials say the parents and 3 other children were taken to hospitals. Their conditions weren't available. There have been 28 reported burglaries in the past 45 days, according to the Athens police. Most of the burglaries took place in student houses over Ohio University's winter break. Common stolen items include laptop computers, gaming systems, and televisions. This straw field is what is left of the Nelsonville Gaga Ball Court. According to County Prosecutor Keller Blackburn, Nelsonville City Council unlawfully removed the court. Gaga is a game similar to dodgeball. Blackburn wrote in his release that one former and one current city employee took the wooden beams that surrounded the court without authorization. However, city manager Chuck Bargy says the beams are being stored right now and will be replaced in the spring along with the new court. According to Bargy, the old one, which was filled with sand, was a health hazard.
Was it really big?
The Boy Scouts are coming up with different material other than sand to fill the court. Southeastern Ohio communities are set to receive over $12 million in funding from the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency. The loans will help improve wastewater and drinking water infrastructure. Perry County will receive over $1 million, Hocking County $6 million, and Logan County almost $200,000, among other local counties and townships. Most of the money coming from the EPA will be low interest, meaning in total the communities will save over $35 million. The Marietta Center Rehabilitation Facility is planning to close its doors. The center provides patients with specialized rehabilitation, long-term care, and activity-based dementia units. The company that owns the facility, Genesis Healthcare, tells us the center will remain open until living arrangements for the residents have been finalized. No reason was given for the closing. U.S. Postal Service suspending deliveries in some areas due to bitter cold temperatures. Today, residents in Toledo and Northeast Pennsylvania did not receive mail. Other areas such as Michigan, Indiana, Illinois will not get mail delivery. The reason cited? Record-breaking lows and dangerous wind chills. The service disruptions are listed by zip code on the USPS website. Yesterday, deliveries were also suspended in parts of 10 states in the Great Plains and Midwest. Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown said his Dignity of Work tour in preparation for a potential run at the presidency. Brown is on what he calls a listening tour, where he is touring states that have early primaries. The tour is based around relating to his base of blue-collar workers in Midwestern states. The tour will take Brown through Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, and South Carolina. It is assumed that this tour will help Brown decide if he will be seeking the Democratic nomination for president. The West Virginia Senate is considering a bill viewed by teachers as retaliation for last year's teachers' strike. The bill will provide an additional 5% pay raise to teachers and other state employees. It would also create public charter schools, create savings accounts for families to pay for private school, and make teachers sign off on union dues every year. The Senate, acting as a committee of the whole, voted 18-16 to move the bill to the full Senate for consideration. On Monday, the Senate approved the rare motion to have the entire chamber consider the bill as a committee. A new BuzzFoods plant is opening in Charleston. The Charleston Gazette reports that the plant is expected to be nearly 10,000 square feet. Construction on the plant will begin in the summer and is expected to be completed next winter. The plant plans to hire 25 to 30 full-time employees. The project is being funded through the Abandoned Mine Lands pilot program. The United States will pull out of a long-time treaty with Russia. Find out its impact. And 3,000 troops have been sent to the border. Learn why when Newswatch returns.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at woub.org. And thank you.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
The U.S. is set to begin its withdrawal from the INF Treaty this weekend in response to what they say is Russian cheating. Moscow launches its last attempt to salvage the agreement to little or no avail. Frederick Plaikin reports from Moscow.
After more than 30 years, the U.S. is set to pull out of a milestone nuclear disarmament agreement, the Treaty on Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces, or INF. Washington saying Russia is cheating.
We either bury our head in the sand or we take common sense action in response to Russia's flagrant disregard for the express terms of the INF Treaty.
And this is the missile system that the U.S. says violates the INF, the nuclear-capable 9M729. America says it falls within the prohibited range of between 500 and 5,000 kilometers and must be destroyed if Russia wants to save the INF Treaty. Moscow denies the allegations and claims the U.S. is the one breaching the deal. Russia's army even putting on a briefing displaying the 9M729 system and claiming its range is within the limits of the INF.
Russia has implemented and continues to meticulously implement the requirements of the treaty and does not allow for any violations to happen.
But journalists were only able to see the launch vehicle and container, not the actual missiles.
The Russians are saying the reason why this rocket is longer than its predecessor is not because they've increased the range, but simply because they've increased the size of the warhead, which would be approximately right here in the container.
The INF Treaty was signed in 1987 by President Ronald Reagan and Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev, aiming to eliminate land-based medium-range nukes. Today, both Russia and the U.S. view the treaty as largely obsolete because it constrains the two, while non-signatories like China are free to field medium-range nuclear weapons. Moscow claims it wants to try and turn the INF into a multilateral treaty to try to save it.
We are open to different ideas how to move things further forward. We do not exclude anything beforehand.
Moscow says if the INF fails, it could lead to a new arms race and make the danger of nuclear conflict much higher, almost 3 decades after the end of the Cold War. Fred Pleitgen, CNN, Moscow.
While no agreement has been reached, there is still hope that an agreement can be reached later. Relations are tense between the U.S. and Russia. They are also worsening between the U.S. and Mexico. More than 3,000 active duty troops are heading to the U.S. southern border. They will join the 2,300 already there. Secretary of Defense Pat Shanahan asked the Department of Homeland Security for more assistance earlier this month. They will work in surveillance and detection. President Trump confirmed the increase in troops on Twitter. He says part of their mission will be to stop migrants from Central American caravans from crossing the border. An important recall for parents of little ones to know about. Trish Pharma has expanded its voluntary recall of infants' ibuprofen oral suspension drops. It's all over concerns that the concentration of ibuprofen in some of the lots is too high, as much as 10% above the specified limit. The affected brands include CVS Health and Equate, which is sold at Walmart. To check if your baby's medicine is included in the recall, go to the recalls link on FDA.gov. Nearly half of all Americans are not heart healthy. That story's still ahead.
And here's a look at what's happening in today's weather. We're going to see some snow coming in for tomorrow and a warming up throughout the week.
Member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at woub.org. And thank you.
Well, if you love TVC basketball action as much as we do, well then we got the show for you. Hardwood Heroes. Come along with us as we will be breaking down all the action every week. It airs Sundays at 11 p.m. and again Mondays at 6 p.m. But remember, our coverage isn't just limited to the show. We have content being posted all week long on our Twitter, Facebook, and even Snapchat. We will also have written recaps posted on our webpage and video recaps on our YouTube channel. So check those out as well. And always remember to be heroic.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
Hello, I am forecaster Adelaide Carwish. Right now in Athens is a chilly 14 degrees with winds to the southwest at 6 miles an hour. We're going to take a look at the general area here. We're going to see New Lexington at 11, Columbus at 11 as well. But once you go down more south towards West Virginia, you're going to see Ripley at 20 and Ironton at 21, but also Jackson at 17. We're going to see an hour by hour tonight. We're going to see cloudy at 8 p.m. But once we get towards 10 p.m., we're going to see a chance of snow. And that snow could be around 1 to 3 inches of snow. Could be more in some places. We're going to see tonight low of 13 degrees. It's actually going to be warming up throughout the night. Winds to the southwest. And it will be about 1 to 3 inches of snow throughout the night. We're going to take a look at tonight throughout the southeastern Ohio area. And New Lexington is at 10, Athens at 13, Jackson at 15, Columbus at 11, Ripley at 15, Chillicothe at 13. So throw out the area. And there is a winter weather advisory. So what that means is you're going to get 2 to 4 inches of snow north of US 22. South of US 22, you're going to get about 1 to 3 inches of snow with maybe a light glaze of freezing rain throughout. So beware for slippery roads, for some black ice throughout. Beware of that as we get through. We're going to look at your morning planner here throughout Athens. At 8 a.m. as people start to wake up and go to classes, snow will start to taper off here as there is only a 30% chance. By the time we hit 10 p.m., most of the snow should be gone, maybe a flurry or two, high in 18. By the time noon hits around, by the time lunchtime hits around, it's going to be 23 degrees, and it's going to be warming up from there. It's going to be warming up throughout the week. And tomorrow we're going to see a high to 31. It's going to be warmer. Snow's going to end by the time it's going to be warmer. Snow's going to end. Winds to the northeast at 0 to 5 miles per hour. We're going to take a look at southeastern Ohio. Athens at 31, Ripley at 33, Jackson at 33, Chillicothe at 33. Columbus and New York will both be at 28. We're going to take a look at the precipitation map right now. We're going to see the high pressures there. We're going to see this snow that's coming in here. As we take a look tomorrow, that stationary front came in. That snow is going to pass. Snow will be hitting Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh. That snow will be past us. It's going to be cloudy, but with a little bit of a warm up here. And we're going to see for Saturday, that low pressure system is going to come down, and we're going to see some much warmer temperatures as the warm fronts coming in. You can see the 7-day outlook here, 31, 47, and then throughout the week, It's going to be in the 50s with a lot of rain. Sunday will be beautiful, 55 degrees, which is so much better than the freezing cold we've been having this week. But as we get into Monday, we're going to have 58, 55, 58, 48, and we're going to send it back to you as it's going to be warmer and rainy throughout the week. Back to you, Taylor.
Thanks, Adley. The American Heart Association is sounding a warning. Almost half of American adults have some type of cardiovascular disease. Steve Nannis has the very latest in today's Health Minute.
Many Americans are not heart healthy. A new report by the American Heart Association says that 48% of Americans, or more than 121 million adults, have some type of cardiovascular disease, or CVD. The condition is defined as coronary heart disease, heart failure, stroke, or high blood pressure, and is the leading cause of death in the U.S. and around the world. More than 840,000 Americans died from CVD in 2016, an increase over the previous year. That is partly due to a change in the way high blood pressure is defined. People are now classified as hypertensive if their blood pressure is 130/80 or above. The previous threshold was 140/90. However, doctors say 8 in 10 cases of CVD can be prevented and that Americans need to do a better job of managing high blood pressure, diabetes, and high cholesterol symptoms, getting enough sleep, and maintaining a healthier lifestyle. There is some good news from the report. Smoking rates are down and more people are getting at least a little bit of exercise. For today's Health Minute, I'm Steve Nannis.
Good evening, News Watchers. Let's talk some sports, shall we? The latest installment of the Battle of Bricks hit the combo last night, and we'll have the results next. And in girls high school basketball, 2 AP-ranked teams in the state are back in action tonight. Find out where Hardwood Heroes is traveling when Newswatch returns. And here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
Welcome back, News Watchers. I'm Blake Baker. Ohio's women's basketball has won 5 straight and has the reigning MAC East Player of the Week in Erica Johnson. So what better time to welcome arch rival Miami to the convo? Now, here we are, pick it up in the second quarter, and here's Johnson as advertised. Little bank off the glass, that'll go. Put her team up 10. A little bit later, Livia Bauer sizing this one up. knocking it down. You'll hear the buzzer in a second. That would take a 10-point lead into halftime, but it was all Miami in the second half. Here's Savannah Klusner with the left, trimming the lead just a little bit. And Ohio made one shot in the fourth quarter, while Lauren Dickerson did a lot of dancing all over the floor. Dickerson dished to Leah Purvis, in the corner, and that'll do it. Hits this 1-3, that go up 4, that lead will stay, and it's been 2 full calendar years since Ohio's women have beaten Miami after a 65-61 loss. Ohio's women don't play again until Saturday, but high school girls around the area will get back on the hardwood tonight. Hardwood Heroes will be at 2 games tonight, both in the TVC Ohio. Each matchup features a top 10 ranked team in the state, according to the latest AP poll. Vinton County is the higher of the 2 ranked teams, which makes sense because they're still undefeated. The 16-0 Lady Vikings are ranked 5th in Division II, and they host Nelsonville York tonight. The Lady Buckeyes are one of 4 Ohio teams with a winning record on the road. Alexander also appeared in the latest poll. The 9th-ranked Lady Spartans are 17-2 and welcome rival Athens tonight. Alexander walloped the Lady Bulldogs by 51 in their first matchup this season. And since we brought up rankings, it seems like a good time to check in on the TVC standings, right? The 2 state-ranked teams appear at the top, followed by Meigs and NY, who each have an 11-8 overall record. Wellston is 500 overall, while Athens and River Valley have had a tough go of it. The Hawking has 1 AP-ranked team, and surprise, it's the Waterford Lady Wildcats. Belpre has a better overall record than Eastern, but the Lady Eagles beat Belpre each time they met this season. We're also missing Miller and Southern at the very bottom of this list. Now, all you fans have to wait until Friday for the boys to play on the hardwood again, but we'll go ahead and give you the TVC standings right now. Let's start with the Hawking this time. The Trimble Tomcats are tearing it up, but they're only separated from the Waterford Wildcats by a single conference loss. And Eastern edges Belpre in the standings with a win over the Golden Eagles. But those two meet again on Friday. Wahama and Miller aren't pictured. They each have 10 losses in the conference. And in the Ohio, we'll get the marquee matchup on Friday. Athens beat Alexander once this season, and the winner on Friday will likely be the Ohio champion for this year. Meigs and Vinton County split their season series, so naturally they tie in the middle of the pack, followed by the 3 Ohio teams below 500. All right, folks, to close out today in sports, I want to introduce you to a segment I call Blake's Take. It's real simple. People love sports opinions, so I'll start supplying one each week. This week, I'm taking the Ohio Swim and Dive Bobcats in their road meet against Akron this weekend. Ohio pummeled the Penguins of Youngstown State in their last meet, winning an insane 14 of 16 events on Senior Day. And that's the other thing. The Bobcats are senior heavy. They're riding the wave of momentum, and they're truly due after losing every duel to Akron since 2011. Well, that'll do it for your news and notes on sports, Taylor. Toss it back your way.
Thanks, Blake. Right now might be a good time to take a gamble on an unlikely scenario. If it doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell, bet on it. Because not only is there snow in hell, it has literally frozen over. Yes, the small town of Hell, Michigan, with a population of less than 100, has reached temperatures well below freezing. It was so cold in hell that many different businesses in the town had to shut down. So if you want to bet on the Browns or Bengals winning the Super Bowl, today might be a good day.
And this is back here with your final weather here. And we're going to look much, much warmer here, as it's going to be a high of 31. Snow will end, and it will be much more. Athens will be at 31, Ripley will be at 34, Columbus at 28. So it's going to be much, much warmer tomorrow after a nice snow. And we're going to take a look at your 7-day outlook here. 31 tomorrow. 47, 55, 58. It's just going to be so much warmer and so much more comfortable than it was the past couple of days where you saw in the single digits, no less. And now it's going to be much, much warmer. 55. Sundays for Super Bowl Sunday is going to be beautiful. 55. I'll send it back to you, Taylor, and finish things up. It's going to be raining all next week.
Thanks, Adley. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Taylor Pacelli. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.